Welcome back, everybody, to Gringos Liberados. We had a bumper weekend of CBLOL playoffs action, 4 best of 3s, a whole lot of exciting results. My name is Trajan, I'm joined by 404 and RMC back on this episode, and we've got a lot of games to cover. We have some pretty interesting results to go through here. There have been some developments in the power rankings, in the lay of this land, as it were. Now, RMC, we finally had a week where you didn't have to watch any pain games, so I assume you're feeling a little better. But how have you received this week of games?
A bit mixed. Yes, I didn't have to suffer from pain anymore, but I got massive pain TSD casting the PKS Loud game.
Yeah.
It's like that. Yeah, that brought
you did have to watch
flashbacks.
Loud to beat a team that they definitely theoretically shouldn't be beating. And, you know, if that's not the pain experience, then...
It's not even that they won. It's how they did it, Trajan. That was really giving me PTSD. Literally, I was joking over like, oh, just give them 28 minutes. And right on the dot, 28 minutes, they kicked on. And I was like, I can't believe this. This is actually triggering me.
It did become a bit upsetting, the clock watching in Loud games. But it just kept working, which is unfortunate. 404, you just... bombed out. I say bombed out, that's not the right word to use, it sounds like you failed it. Smashed out, let's say, an exam in the last day or two. How we doing? How we feeling?
Better now. Like I told you off air, right? You get that day after the exam euphoria of like, wow, today I'm not going to do anything. And so, yeah. Well, I said today I wasn't going to do anything, but then I was running errands this morning. I have some errands to run today, and I took a day off work to go get my Spirit Forge pre-orders on Friday and to like open some packs with the boys on Friday, and I have an assignment due Friday, so I have to work on that assignment today and tomorrow. So, you know, I'm enjoying talking about League of Legends with my friends right now.
Yay.
Because it is kind of back to the grindstone for the next couple of days. But
Trajan, do you TCG?
I have done. I don't. Riftbound, because I don't have a house yet, so if I'm gonna choose something to spend money on,
well, that's where the money's going.
That's where it's going for the time being.
Damn, okay, that's a legit thing. If you just give me an excuse like I'm not interested, I was gonna ask if I send you $100 card, will you start playing?
I would sell it for $100 and then never speak it, and never say anything.
That's legit.
But I've been trying to. I have this distinct worry that I need to replace a couple of parts of my PC, and now is not a good time to be doing that kind of thing in this economy. So,
true.
If anything's going to be reaching into my pocket and stealing my money, it's probably going to be my computer, sadly. But I might have to do it because I can't run vMix without it, and I kind of want whenever I have to cover the stream, I kind of want them to look nicer. So, I can put on a solid scuffed stream, but I'd like to vmix it up if possible, which I came very close to doing, but sadly my CPU exploded. Okay, right, let's talk about these games, because we've got 4 best of 3s to look at. The bracket is up on the screen for watchers, and the first series was Furia Leviathan.
Yep.
2-0 Furia.
Yeah.
Pretty much... I think both games were almost exactly the same length of time. They were both about 29 minutes.
Yep.
And Furia is better than Lev. So that's kind of how the games went.
I don't think there's much notes from that game to take. Like, I don't think anybody was surprised.
No, I mean, I was already happy with what Lev had shown us. They beat up Pain. That was funny. They still have a chance to beat up on VKS in the losers bracket, which will be even funnier, if anything. But ultimately, it's a development roster. It's still developing. But Furia, as flawed as they are, they're just starting from a much higher place.
Exactly.
And they are very much still having on days and off days. And I think their off days are not enough for them to throw against Lev right now, which is good. And their on days will just steamroll over anybody, Lev included. So
yeah, especially Lev. I mean, we have to remember that these are a bunch of tier 3 players effectively, coming up against some, look, say what you want about the CBLOL, but it is tier 1, and they've got themselves they've got enough talent. They have, enough of an idea of how they want to play, and look, it was good enough to get them into top six over, teams that on paper are more talented than them. So, no notes for Lev, right? I would say keep the roster together, keep the vibes up. We'll see you back here next split in the least patronizing way possible. I say all that.
Well, so we still have to see what they do against VKS, which is going to be interesting because of what they were able to do to seasoned players on Pain. Whether because VKS again don't seem to be improving yet. We'll talk about it a little more in their Loud series, but for Furia, it still seems like they just look like nobody else when they're ahead. Like it clicks so well when they're ahead. This has always been the Furia way, and like even when they were settling in this roster, why I always felt like, man, I think these are the guys. These are going to be the guys. And then at the start of 2025 they were, and well, middle of 2025 I should say, Leviathan were technically, and Isurus were technically the guys in the first split, but
yeah, sure.
Like Furia were the guys in the first half of the year, and it's, to be honest, if something doesn't change soonish, it's gonna start becoming annoying that they can't like get over the problems that they have because the ceiling is so high and because they've shown us so much. That I want to see some movement now. I want to see some problem solving. I want to see some fixing, because
Yeah. When I'm a little thought experiment, we don't have to spend too long on it. If it's just shut up 4x4, let's move on to the next thing. That's fine too. When was the last time we saw a roster, maybe in Brazil, internationally, like really overperform, do what K did last year, just like smash it out of the park, no notes, 10 out of 10, come back and make a change, and then look stronger? Because that's really hard to do.
I mean, to be honest, I'm surprised it doesn't happen more, just because
I agree.
like I feel like I mean, this is from someone who's never played in a tier 1 League of Legends team. The fact that changing one piece in an already winning formula seems to result in so much problem confuses me somewhat.
More often than not. Yeah.
And it makes me feel like surely it can't be the piece. It has to be like, because it seems like from VKS, from what CL is saying, it's kind of everyone else. It's like now they're just not trying and they're wasting practice and they're blah blah blah. And Kaiwing is like very vocal, and everyone talks about how hard he's trying. The other players talk about how hard he's trying, and then CL is like, well, none of my players are trying and they're dog now or whatever. So it seems like it's more the winning that's the problem, at least in the CBLOL. Rather than the change.
Yeah, and look, like you said, the talent is there, and they have to come good. But I mean, you can't lose to Lev. First of all, that's DEFCON 1. Cannot get dumped out by Lev. But then it's like, okay, if you lose to Furia, like, I don't know. I mean, it's still just split 1, right? This time last year, Isurus and Leviathan were the first and second seeds, and that was a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
So
this is more of a real split than that for sure, but it's still only one round robin, as opposed to 2. Literally half the games in the first stage, theoretically, right? And we've had double elim playoffs for a long time. Do you feel like, RMC, do you feel like the way we're playing the game is so materially different to the end of last year that's enough to cause a problem? No. I don't think it is. It feels like the champions aren't that different that we're playing. Like,
there was sort of a change in terms of the, like, initially everybody was so fixated on the idea of like, oh, the quests are so important that kind of warped some of the early objective taking. But I feel like we've fundamentally gone back to just, okay, guys, just play your lanes properly, rotate when you have to. Like,
supports are still going to grub sometimes. Like, they're not going every time, but Riot was trying to stop that happening even before the season switch, I think, was trying to stop how like stale that pattern had become. So we're still by 12 to 15 minutes we're done with that, and now we're just doing whatever we were doing before. And with no lane swaps that people don't like, and if not the same like pattern of, oh, then the support has to roam up to grubs at this timer, it's just you have to do this and that in your lane and have to come back and get this done by 12 to 15 minutes, and then you do whatever. It's like still a pattern. It's a slightly different pattern, but that can't explain this kind of fall off. Like the way the game fundamentally has not changed that much. It feels to facilitate VKS dropping off to this level.
Yeah, and I don't think it's like a Kaiwing issue either. Like
no.
Look, like Trimby was great, and he was doing a lot of shot calling.
Great sometimes, but there were plenty of games where he was
towards the end of
mechanically suspicious. Like he flubbed a fair number of fights in his day. He added a lot of intangibles, but VKS is overflowing with intangibles with CL and like more coaches than anyone else, and Smiley. They've intentionally built a coaching staff that has intangibles to spare, and yet somehow they can't get the intangibles in order. It's
and that makes me wonder if it's just that they overperformed last year.
Yeah,
right.
And that they were.
It'd be one hell of an overperformance and one hell of a sustained overperformance against like international competition as well, right?
Because the international was good, but it wasn't like.
But nobody was beating that FlyQuest team. Nobody was beating that FlyQuest team.
Well, VKS beat them one game in the finals, and then they didn't beat them.
But I think that only kind of serves to it serves my point, right? Yeah. Like that was a really good team.
Yeah,
it was, but when everything's clicking, right? Sometimes you're just in the zone and you're just popping off and doing really, really well, right? Like I feel like with VKS especially, they feel like they have really high highs and really low lows. Like it's in 2 years straight now, because in 2024 as well with the Smiley roster, right? They got so damn close and they looked really, really, really good. Could they have kept that level of performance? I don't know, right? We see prods leave and the whole thing just tanked.
Yeah, Leleco was starting to drop off as well by the end of that.
Yeah,
Leleco, wow.
Yeah, right. So when I'm looking at this, I'm wondering, okay, did they overperform last year, right? Like, did they kind of get caught up in the swing of things and just like, they looked amazing, but that was sustainable. And I guess that's sort of the next step for VKS and for Furia as well, who kind of started this discussion, is that we've seen their highs now. Can they sustain it, right? If Furia can recapture that high, sure. We've seen VKS recapture the high last year. So it's more like, can they sustain the high and get everybody, back to that level once again and actually maintain it for long enough for it to significantly matter?
Yeah.
Also, to your question,
I feel like
I was actually going back and looking at rosters that won back to back and which ones have improved. I had to go back to 2014, 2015.
Okay. This is not even the
TSM
game at that point.
So when they replaced Amazing with Centauran. So yeah, it doesn't usually happen, and that's an arguable upgrade.
Centauran mentioned.
Bro, that was like...
so no, basically no. Like, it's rare that we see that happen.
Back when I was a genuine TSM fan, that's one of my favorite rosters of all time.
Yeah, Darius was still on that roster.
Darius, Santorin, Bjergsen, Lustboy, Wild Turtle, I think.
Wild Turtle. Yep.
Banger roster. I think that's the one that won IEM. Oh man, that was with Sven Skaren, maybe?
They won IEM with that roster.
An IEM with that. Greatest NA achievement of all time.
But 2015
Yeah. So anyway,
to kind of put a bow on it, I feel like about kind of like changes from one era to another. I feel like if anything, Furia should have more of an excuse, right, to like not come back stronger, because ThinkCard in theory, right, is your culture setter, right? And he dictates how to play the game. Whereas the structures, I feel like I'm talking about Cloud9, the structures, the systems. That's all the same, and that's like Keyd's whole thing, right?
Yes.
That's their formula for success, is that you keep those intangibles the same, and everybody comes in and fits into the system, right? It's not to say that like CL is like saying like, you must behave a certain way, right? Because I think CL's smarter than that, and I think that's why he succeeded in Brazil, is that he hasn't tried to be like, I'm going to tell you how to play the game, and none of the things that make you a good player are acceptable here, right? He works with that, so it's not to discredit CL either.
But that's kind of the problem, right? That's why Brazil needed change, because they couldn't do that.
But also there's a balance to be struck, right?
Yeah,
so I'm saying like it's not like CL is coming in here and being like, like Kaiwing, you have to like, if there are things about Kaiwing that just are fundamentally incompatible, we're gonna like just completely throw those out the window and just ask way too much of Kaiwing in that respect. Like there's no way, right? He's smarter than that.
And to a very large extent, that was my concern when last year when we switched to the LTA system and VKS went, well, our 5-year plan just went out the window because we have to perform now. And that was my concern, was that now this whole 5-year plan is derailed, right? Because you have to provide results immediately, and that means that you might not be able to set up the systems you want to make sure that people are, for lack of a better term, replaceable. You can swap people in and out and have the system keep working. And now you are relying on the players. Like okay, so we've kind of finished Furia. I want to talk more about Furia, but I'll talk about it later in their systems when we come up against Red.
Yeah, we
but
didn't see
against
much
Loud
from them this week. They just beat Loud.
Yeah,
that was kind of
Well, I mean, there's Red from Sunday as well that we can talk about. But yeah, VKS into Loud. I think that kind of shows you that VKS's systems are not what's carrying the team. Because when Miru can't perform, the team starts to fall apart really badly. Because during that game, I thought Kaiwing and Mateus, they were popping in the bot lane. Like Kaiwing was fine. He was connecting with the Samus. I thought the Samus was kind of doing his job. Bull did good. I know that like Shino went nuts that series, but Shino went nuts. It's not like Bull didn't do his job. Bull still did his job in that series. Okay. So to me, the problem was Miru. And if one player can derail your entire system that hard, like then it's not the system. We've seen Brazil especially has had a weak mid lane pool for a while now, and we've seen team after team after team perform with mid laners who aren't necessarily the highest level, and that's why Kaze and Miru trashed everybody last year.
Yeah, Miru was supposed to be the answer, right?
Yeah, but now he's underperforming, and the rest of K can't carry. Well, guess what? You're in Brazil. That's not an excuse when every other team's done it.
Yeah, it's true. Especially when you're getting hashtag bodied by Mago, right? Talk about the opposite end of the spectrum, right? With the greatest of respect to Mago, like look, everyone owes him an apology. Like, myself included. I'll put myself in that. But that's holy, wow, like, come on, man, you're freaking Miru, right? That's not supposed to happen.
Well, to be fair, we were talking about this a bit yesterday before, because I was saying that, I owe Mago apology, because I just realized that his bad stats have been coming when he's playing mages. This guy was scouted for Jace, Irelia, and Yone. Like, he's a melee physical damage mid laner, and he gets his Yone, and I was like, okay, still not, like, insanely shocking, but he won that lane. So to me, I was like, okay, maybe it's a long con. Maybe Loud saying, okay, the regular season doesn't matter. Mago, play your mages and get better at them. And then when it matters, they start putting Mago back on the melee carries, and he's doing much better.
And you and I kind of talked about it yesterday, RMC. Like, that's the beauty of not like needing the results, right? And like, like Loud kind of, putting all their eggs in this like a bit of a dev basket, right? Is like, look, we don't need the results right now. Go out there and I do think there is something to be said for, Mago, again, if you're playing kind of amateur psychologist, I don't know what promises were and weren't made on Loud and on his previous rosters, blah, 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 all those caveats. That being said, it's got to be good for a guy like Mago, who has been like Mr. Potential his whole career, to just be able to sit down and say, no, we're not kicking you. We're not nothing. Go out there and perform. If you screw up, we're going to give you license to screw up, right? And you're going to learn from that. We're going to put you in an environment where that's going to be part of the process, right? It's baked into everything.
Yeah, well, once Loud qualified to playoffs in the top half, I think they were just playing with house money. They were like, I don't think they necessarily expected to be there. I don't think anyone really expected them to be there. No. So they're like, okay, well, let's just like do whatever. Let's do what we want. Let's just play our game and then see how far we go. And let's give Margo Yode and see what happens. And then he did really well.
And then they go, hey, yo!
They go, hey, yo, Margo! The most annoying thing about this is that Margo literally means mage, and the bro, like, can't play the mages and play melee guys. Like, we need to change his name to whatever melee is in Portuguese, I suppose, but...
It's the same word for loud in Portuguese. It's instead of loud G, it's melee. So, say with an accent.
Yeah, just put some stank on it, and then
exactly.
Anyway, so Miru is completely MIA, and I think that's the direction the IDL took their social post, was like, have you seen this man? Basically, where is Miru?
He's on the side of the milk carton.
Yeah, and I don't understand why. And I guess like the fact that he was just so in control of the middle part of the map every game, I guess certainly makes the map really easy to play in 2025 split 3 or whatever. Like you always have a point of strength. You're almost always gonna have first rotation. You're always gonna be stronger. The first dragon fight, a grub fight, whatever. And he was playing like a Kali, and like he was playing scrappers, and then kind of outmaneuvering, outhandsing, and then just beating his opponents in kind of every metric. And without that, and it's not even just like, oh, Margo's the guy who's beating Miru. Miru's not doing anything to anyone. Like he's just not impacting the lane.
We're talking about Mago. This is more of a Miru conversation than a Mago.
Yeah, I think this is a Miru problem. Props to Mago.
It's also
what he did, but
in the regular season as well, this happened too. Like Loud's only clean game in the regular season was against VKS. And they did it again now in the playoffs. Crazy. Like there's something fundamentally wrong with how VKS is playing into Loud.
That's how I teed it up last week, was Miri, you have to do better against Margo than you did last time. And he did even worse. It's
Yeah.
it's impossible. I don't know how I've done this to the guy. Like, but,
yeah.
instructions unclear, I suppose. So VKS are down into the lower bracket to face Lev. Given that Miryu doesn't seem to be able to get a leg up on anybody, and Enga has actually been putting in better performances as the split goes on. Enga's alright. Like, he's not blowing my mind yet, but if you give him, he gets a good matchup. You give him some gold, he's not going to waste it. He's going to be a mid laner. He's going to play.
Cassio, he will just outscale you and not play stupid things.
And when you then compare that with the fact that Bowl has kind of regressed at least partially back to start of 2025 Bowl, not end of 2025 Bowl, Devast is looking like a bit of a 1v1 machine right now, and there's a distinct risk that Bowl gets stomped in lane at this point, because he's not been having the best time in lane so far. And Lev with the lead is pretty reliable. They don't really throw games super hard. They don't have a clean mid and late game. Like, they stumble along the way, but I don't think they lose from ahead. I think they just make it look harder than it needs to be. I might be wrong, and they might have done some pretty egregious throws, but I think they just really... they're not clean with it, but they don't tend to lose the whole affair, you know?
Yeah. I mean, their win rate went ahead at 15.75%. That was the stat I pulled out.
That is better than I thought it was going to be.
So, well, it's fine.
I don't know. To me, it's kind of worse. Like, I feel like your win rate should be 80% or higher if you know how to close games out.
Okay, but like, given the eye test and like the whole narrative we were pushing about, like, against Pain, how they, like, despite their best efforts, beat Pain. I wouldn't have expected to be. I would expect it to be like closer to 50.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, wait, hold on. Let me pull out the stat, because I did that. I had the graphic for like how much a hit they are on average in games they win as well, which to me was kind of the problem. When they're winning, they're usually ahead at 15 minutes by 2,393.
That's a lot.
At 15 minutes. That's a lot.
That's like Red Furia numbers of gold at 15. Like,
I think they're like the second highest after Furia. Or no, sorry, no, they're not.
I think
Lowe's beat them out, but they're up there when they're winning. And to put this in context, so they're up 2,400 when they're winning. On average, they're only about 572. So when they're losing, they lose by a lot. When they're winning, they win by a lot. Like, they're a team that is kind of extreme in either way. Yeah. And that's my problem. If you're up 2,400 goals at 15 minutes and you can't close out, and the fact that they're taking a long time to close out games, when they win, their average game time is 37-36, which is one of the longer average winning game times.
Yeah, that's a massive time to be an average win.
So
even these days,
I am a little bit concerned when they're playing up against any team where I believe they have a late game. So not Pain. But if they're up against Loud, I think Loud wins that like 80% of the time.
I think Loud is heavily favored there for sure. I don't think VKS
with Keyd. Really, so I don't know what's going on with Keyd right now. Like, Keyd, I just have so many questions. And again, like I said before, I think there's something fundamentally flawed with how they're doing this. And I never like the pressure that CLK's randomly piling on himself for reasons I don't understand. Like, look, maybe he operates best under pressure. Sure.
Yeah.
Like,
or maybe it's kind of shielding the players to a certain degree. Although he does kind of pull out the hairdryer in the interviews, but I think that is a common coach tactic.
And to be fair, I think he's only done that.
Fault. It's on me. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah. Given how much responsibility he takes for the project all the time, I think he's allowed to be like, you know what, my players just biff this one. You know, like I at least just like, I'm unhappy with the practice, or like, it's still vague enough that we're not kind of throwing people under the bus or whatever, but I think he's just very outspoken and pretty transparent, or at least seems pretty transparent in interviews, and largely will take the blame if he can. But I think this time he did not feel like he was able to take the blame here, or that it would not be right. And potentially it's another way of lighting a fire under players who should be champions and have their coach going out on the press conference and going like, yeah, like, they all biff this, like, they're not trying hard enough. They should feel bad, and maybe they will hopefully feel bad. So,
well, apparently not against Loud. Or they didn't feel bad enough against Loud.
Not hard enough, because, you know. So for VKS into Lev, I don't feel great about their top side. Lanes specifically, really. I think Lev's lanes are in a pretty good spot right now. Jungle's kind of hard to say, because Desamus, I don't think he's doing anything particularly wrong. I think just the map is really hard to play for him every game now. And Buki can do some wacky stuff, as we've seen. So he will throw a spanner in the works potentially, and that might throw Desamus off if his lanes are once again struggling. And the bot lane for Lev has always been good. It's been like the first thing that was good from the get-go. So I don't know if Morteus...
That is the only non-tier 3 part of their team.
Exactly. So
yeah.
the matchup seems kind of good for Lev, to be honest. And all they have to do, I think, is play to their strengths normally, and then try to keep clearing up their mid and late game to avoid a potential throw angle. But I don't think VKS are in a great position to mount a throw angle. So
nice.
This honestly feels like very doable for Lev, based on what we've seen from both of these two teams recently, which is gotta be very worrying for VKS.
I was gonna say equal parts really cool and really scary.
Yeah, like at this point, mentally, I'm already like over VKS as a champion. I'm like, okay, well, they did that, but I'm like, they're back in the mid pack for me now. Like with what we're seeing, I don't care anymore. Yep. I'm now watching Red. That's who I'm watching.
I just can't help but remember like last year's split one where like Keyd just crashed and burned playing the minimum amount of games.
Dude, they were
second.
Who? Like the stocks on Morteus were so low. Trimby was just like, this dude is a paycheck stealer.
Kissy was
not
like,
good.
get
I blame Trimby more than Morteus. Morteus is putting up numbers.
Yeah, like their laning was not good to start, man. It was like, and they were going up against Ayu and Jojo and Frosty, and Rebello was like a great surprise, and that worked really well to start with. So there was no like ease in. It was just like, oh no, you've come in at the bottom. And kind of only Snaker and Ackerman seem to be worse right now.
It's kind of funny too, because in split one last year, it was Lev who knocked Keyd down and Loud who took them out. This time, Loud's knocked Keyd down.
And Lev is ready and waiting. The big like handshake for Loud and Lev, just ruining VKS split one every year.
Yep.
Let's see if Lev can do it. Okay, we've talked about Furia, so let's talk about Loud then. 2-0 over VKS. And it was kind of like perfunctory. It didn't even really seem that hard. Like it was clean. We'd gotten to the point where it seems like at this stage, like it's still not there every game. Like the strengths do still ebb and flow a little bit. Young Jay like is very up and down in the jungle. Like if he gets his game plan going, like he will absolutely dominate. But he can be like
he's kind of unstoppable if he gets the ball rolling.
He can have his like legs taken off at the knees early on, and then just doesn't seem to know what to do or where to go. But
I just find the word unstoppable and Young Jay kind of funny when like on Sunday he did the 2-inch ult which missed.
Dude, that was. Oh, dude.
Who among us?
Oh, it was so funny. It was so funny. That Malphite game was so like.
I mean, they still won, but it was just a funny moment where you're like, Young Jay, brother.
It was chopped, man. It was a chopped Malphite game. It was not good. But it's like Shino especially growing every time. Like Shino's consistently showing he's now like taken over as like pretty boy bowl top laner. Like now we've got Shino now, we've got a new one. So I'll have that.
We have Shino at home, dude.
And then and this was the weekend that Margot finally stopped sucking, to put it bluntly. He just stopped being bad.
For me, it's 2 weekends in a row of not being bad, but this is the first weekend where he was like good. Capital G.
Yeah. So
I guess we're transitioning to Lowe's versus Loud now, yeah?
To be honest, yeah, because they just kind of body VKS, and VKS is just bad, and Loud doesn't have a hole in the mid lane anymore. So they won.
Because like I said, Saturday told me nothing, pretty much. Like it went about largely what we had. I didn't say expected because I think Keyd was still favored, but all of us were like, well, if Keyd were to fall, it'd be this way.
It made me more excited for Loud than I was going. I stepped up again. I was already kind of like, tentatively, eyes emoji, like at Loud, but then I was like 2 eyes emoji after that one because I was like, okay.
And it was
because
siren emoji, vomit emoji.
Yeah,
I had to like mind blowing emoji, volcano.
Yeah, even if they'd like squeaked past them, if they squeaked past VKS 2-1, I'd have been like, okay, we're still like they're loud, they will upset anybody, they're volatile, but I don't expect them to really go further. But with how they beat them, that made me a lot more excited for Los versus Loud, which ended up being justified quite quickly.
Yeah.
Los did not do the funny thing of just picking Furia, despite the fact Loud beat VKS, as we worried that they might. They actually just made what seemed like the sensible choice.
And it is sensible, but the problem is, ironically, they might actually have beat Furia, but their matchup turned out to be the worst against Loud. Like, no, I thought if any team was going to blow Loud off the water before 28 minutes, it would be Los, because Los has the best early game.
No, they're early.
But the problem is that it went the opposite way, where Los's greatest weakness, and I've said this in past podcasts, and the reason why I thought Red was a better team than Los, is because I don't think Los has been tested enough in the mid game.
Yes,
I don't think they know how to do it. Work
They've
together
been
as a team.
waiting for someone to actually punish them and actually expose the flaws in this team. This is how I've been feeling. Like, they're really good, but they can't be that good. They just can't. They couldn't be as good as they
And
looked
they're not.
with these players, and they're not. They are not. This was the weekend where it transpired that they are not.
Yeah, I think the funniest thing was that it turns out Loud's weaknesses turned out to be a strength against Los, because Los smashed the early game, but every other team has been trying to match hands with Los, where it's like, oh, we're losing the lane, double down, get our junglers in here, try and match. And Drake Hero's like, bet. Like, I love fighting. We'll do this all day long. And Loud just went, we're losing? Okay, guys, we need to stop engaging them. Like, we have lost to every single lane in this league. We are the worst laning team in the entire freaking CBLOL. So stop fighting. Stop laning. And that's exactly what Loud did. And suddenly Los looked lost. It's like, wait, how do we press our lead? Loud's not meeting us here. They're only showing up at objectives, and because they're sacking their lanes a little bit, they're getting to objectives first. They're setting up first, and we're having to play into them, and we're streaming in expecting them to like kind of duel us on the way in, and they're just like, no, come on in, the door's open, the gate's open, we're in the safe, and we'll deal with you when you finally come in into the vault, right? Yeah. And that's what Loud did. And so they start winning these fights, and Loud didn't overstay their welcome. They take the objective and leave. They're just like, oh, we'll take this early dragon, we don't want to fight you. Oh, you're taking dragon? Okay, we'll go for grubs. We know grubs suck, but hey, we'll take it because we're not fighting you a dragon. We know better. We've learned this from every other team in the league. We ain't winning this. Except for Youngjae. Youngjae do what Youngjae wants, and then Youngjae dies, and that's fine. We've accounted for this. And then at 28 minutes, Los doesn't have the big lead. And then the Baron, Loud and Baron is like reverse Dignitas. I don't know what the hell is happening there. They're just going in and just throwing every other team out. They're just like, okay, we got this. The 3-man engage, was it game 2?
Wasn't it
like
one?
The one?
Or was
It was like, it was like Shino, Youngjae, and Bull. Like, just went in there and took it. I'm like, in a 3v5? What world does this happen? It's not even a 20-minute Baron. It's not an early Baron. And they just did it. And I'm just like, oh, okay. Like, I don't.
I'll sit back down.
Yeah, like, this is so stupid that it's working. And Los just kind of walked into it. Like, if this was Red, I think Red would have blown them out the water. I think Furia might have struggled, but I still would have favored Furia. But yeah, my goodness, Loud gets such a big boost from this, and because of that win too, Loud is guaranteed bootcamp now.
Yes, yeah. So we get Shino, we get Margot at boot camps to accelerate the growth that seems to have started. Youngjae as well, to be fair, is like a relatively new player, and definitely like he's a young guy and he's emotional and like he fits very well on Loud, but there's definitely refinement to be found for this team. I think Bull and Redbird are pretty chill, to be honest, but I think the rest of the map will definitely benefit a lot from that.
I think Bull is also, like, he's younger than Youngjae, age-wise, and experience-wise, he's roughly the same.
I don't believe you. I just don't.
Hold on, let me double-check this. I'm pretty sure.
I'm calling you out. I don't believe you. If it's true... fine. But
I will look this up. Give me a sec. Okay, so they are the Youngjae is 23. He is the second oldest on this team after Ripper.
Crazy. Ripper's like 27 or something crazy.
And then Bull is 22. And Mago is actually older than Bull, also 22, but born earlier in the year.
Yeah.
And then Shino's like 18.
Yeah, he's like a little baby fresh out of the womb. That's crazy. That's insane. Okay, so it was game 2 that had the 20-minute Baron collapse from Los, who were just like winning that game. They were like 6k up, and then like they do Baron on spawn, and it's close enough. Welcome back, Atakan. They throw the entire game at it. And it takes half the enemy team to take them down at this objective, and then they never do anything again in that game. The game ends basically at that point, and then Loud just run over them. Because this was like the way that the series was played out, generally speaking, Los were really trying to win bot lane. They were trying to bully Bull out of bot lane every single game. And in game 1, they did it. Bull was on Ezreal, and he was like 0-5 by the end of this game. He could do nothing. It was a nightmare for Bull in that first game. And then Loud, on their side, tried to win top lane. They were really putting the pressure on Zest, which teams have sort of tried to do in the past, but they have always kind of spectacularly failed to stop him. But Loud actually did blow Zest out. Even in game 1 that Los won, Zest was pretty successfully neutralized in this entire series. He didn't really do anything, which is crazy because he was like the most explosive part of this Los roster from the get-go, was Zest is bodying everyone what's happening. So we had like split focuses. Game 1, it worked for Los. They still almost lost it. Loud brought it back, and to be honest, probably should have won that game. Ended up throwing it at the end, despite kind of getting it back in hand. But from game 2 onwards, they weren't able to actually stop Bull. They couldn't actually keep him down. They tried still, but Loud adjusted, and then had Youngjae like on hand to literally put his body in front of Bull to be like, just let my man farm a cannon while they're like trying to dive him for the 3rd time. Like, there was such a clear strategic adaptation by Loud. And, like, they picked a lane to bully, and it worked every time. And Los picked a lane to bully, and it just stopped working after game 1. And they didn't, like, they could have nothing to play through in the early game at that point.
Trajan, I respect that that's what happened. I disagree with the mindset. I do not believe Youngjae is putting his body to allow his AD carry to farm. I think Youngjae just wants to fight, and Bull was just like, let me farm.
Bull's
and
actually
like, I'm going in, and Bull's just like,
I'm just going to farm. Like, I want to hit this cannon. Don't Malphite ult them. I'm trying to farm this wave under my tower. Please.
Yeah. Because, I mean, Youngjae, that guy is like all gas, no brakes. Like, the literal definition of that. That's why they keep feeding the early game. But yeah, it ended up helping because it did buy Bull the space to kind of get back in after all the early pressure they put on him.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah, and like once that Baron fight came out, like Bull played it really well, and then he was just like killing everyone on repeat. He was unleashed on the Lucian in that second game. It was crazy.
Now my problem is who's left for Loud to play, right?
Well,
like there's
so the
Red
other
on the top side, and I don't believe Red will do that.
Yeah, the other aspect to this is how bad does Los look when Feisty can't play the game? Without Feisty, they can't play, it seems. It's crazy to me. This was the guy who was the least exciting from the start, but turns out he was the linchpin the whole time. If he doesn't have Talia to like outplay and maximize utility in every passage of play, they can't do anything, bro. Loss collapses if they don't have this guy. It's crazy. He was on Victor the second game and did absolutely nothing. And in the third game, what was he even on? He was on Zoe. And
Zoe. He went Zoe.
And he did kill Margot, I think. I think he solo killed Margot once in lane, which is fair enough. But besides that, like the Zoe itself, if you don't hit the critical bubble, the champion is not doing anything. Like that's what the champion does out of lane, is it fishes for bubbles and one-shots people. But it's not like Talia, where you can do like a 3-man seismic shove 3 times in one team fight. Or you can Talia wall every dragon play, you can Talia wall to split the enemy team up. Like, the Talia walls in game 1 were like the best Talia walls I've ever seen in my life, bro. He was like individually sectioning off team members from Louds before plays just with Talia wall. It's crazy. Like, the difference in games 1 versus 2 and 3, where if Feisty wasn't allowed to play, how little influence it seemed like Lowe's had in team fights. Like, he was essential, it seems. It's wild to me.
Very cool timeline we're living in.
Yeah. So like,
this is typical split one timeline, right?
Yeah,
where everything's
so
just going crazy.
I'm left struggling to articulate or work out how Los functions at this point. Because it seemed like the top side was really dominant.
Win game.
And the top and bottom were really dominant. And yeah, and if they don't, and like, is it actually the fact that mid lane is just supporting them in this endeavor really well through the mid game? Or like, if they don't win lane, they actually can't play? Like, could they never play without winning lane? I don't remember. I'm questioning my memories now, you know?
I just genuinely think that if teams choose not to engage with Los, they have not yet learned how to bring teams to the table if teams do not opt for the table. That's the same reason why they lost to Pain Gaming. Mm-hmm. Because Pain Gaming went, well, shoot, we're losing, and like we don't want to, shocker, throw harder than we already are. So they just kind of went, okay, we'll just play for late, and then just give them seed the mid game. And it's the exact same thing happened where Los just kind of didn't close the game out, and then Pain went, okay, we're finally on even ground, we can fight this. Mm-hmm. So yeah, like I said, I think that there's a major Los lesson to be learned. I still think they're a strong team. I just think that teams will now have figured that out, and they need to learn how to play a mid game properly, or else I think Keyd has a good enough coaching staff to learn and fix from this. I think Pain and Loud will accidentally stumble their way into victories against Los, because if Los doesn't learn how to do that, the natural inclination of Loud and Pain is just to play that way. And I think Furia and Red, well, Furia and Red's a big question marks, because funnily enough, I think they will keep ramming their heads into Los Grandes. We saw that in the regular
that's
season.
how they play. They play to ram through the early game, and Los is good at the early game, so they'd have to be better than Los at that, which I do believe that they are. It's just that, like, it is the hardest way to beat Los is at that stage of the game. So Los goes down into lower bracket. Now they are the first seed, so they get a bye into the third round of the lower bracket. First being VKS Lev. Second, then the winner of that then faces Furia, and the winner of that faces Los. So
the gauntlet.
Yeah, so we are gonna have to see everybody prove how they're kind of tackling their own issues here, I think, through that lower bracket. And because Red 2-0'd Furia, much in the same way that they 1-0'd them in the regular season, it kind of looked remarkably similar to that. Do we now need to just admit that Red is just better? Because it's taken so... when they beat them before, I was still like, are they though? Are they actually better than Furia? They are. They are better than Furia. They just are. Like, they just 2-0'd them, and it was the same thing. It was the same way. They actually outperformed them in the stages of the game that Furia are strong. Very similar to, like, the Los concept. Like, they're just better than them, and they play the same kind of game. So, go Red.
Yeah. No, they just kind of tonked them. Like you said, I think, Trajan, you and I were casting this game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, Kaze, he pulled out the LeBlanc, which I'd forgotten about as I'm scrubbing through the VOD to make sure I didn't, like, miss anything important here. But, yeah, and they played kind of two styles of composition, right? One a little easier to execute in game two with the Sejuani. But in the other one, it was like, okay, we don't have much CC outside of the Nico, but, like, it was just dive, and, you know, they just kind of ran over them. And Toots, he looked better in his first series, good. But he was kind of put in his place a little bit here, but not far from the kind of egregious mistakes he made.
Yeah,
but,
start of the split, I was worrying about Tuts, as this is going to be the problem with Furia, is Tuts is still going to be struggling, especially against Kaze and theoretically Mirror, but I guess not. Like, this is going to be what holds Furia back against the best teams, but it doesn't really feel like that. It feels like Tuts is doing a good job, even into Kaze, even, like, you know, in Kaze playing you sort of mechanical outplay champs. Tuts isn't getting left behind. He's not getting pushed out of lane. He's not being used as invites. It's the team as a whole that is struggling in this Red matchup. It's actually not him, which is positive because it solves a problem I worried they'd have, but it does invite discussion of a deeper issue that isn't just this player bad, you know. And
to be fair to Tuts, I don't think we were worried about him being like a weight to, or like a huge issue for the team. It was more just
he wasn't really a Mago. He was
just okay. Fair enough.
Especially coming off last split, and, like, again, he has priors for this. Unfortunately,
he kind of did look like a bit of a Mago last split. To be fair, like
last split, I thought like he wasn't. He was the issue that he was the worst performing player in the team.
Yeah.
I still thought he was like I didn't think he was a bottom four.
It was still part of the grand Furia collapse. Like, it wasn't like he collapsed and dragged Furia down. So he wasn't the anchor, but he was the worst performing player on Furia for my money. Yeah. And you know, now that they're back to their old ways, I'd worried that he would then be left behind, and then actually he would be the anchor if the rest of Furia was playing up to level. But they're actually still showing these issues, and it was. He's back with them, you know.
Fair. But if you're talking egregious player, like
it was Gigon. It was Gigon series, bro. It was
Gigon series.
Yeah, that Jax was like, like, dude, I know we've called Gigo Robo Light in the past, but you did not need to copy Robo this split. Like,
no.
Yeah, that Jax play, I was watching going like, ooh, okay, yeah, I definitely see Robo in this one. Some really forced plays.
It's a series like, you know, we know you lose early and you win late, right? All good, Gigo. You don't beat the Renekton, and we'll see you in the late game.
You're into Renekton, exactly.
But it's like, when do we start winning? When do we... He almost started winning and then just died 3 times on a side lane.
No, he's skilling. He's skilling for next split. Don't worry.
Bro, yeah, that was just...
better, man.
He was just huge.
Well, but that's Gigo for you, right? He wins some, he loses some. To me, I really appreciated the series more because I think it solidified in my head the importance of the coaching staff. Like, Red has fixed their mistakes consistently throughout this split. I really love what Talkers is doing with them. And these games were pretty good from Red. Even the adaptation between game 1 and game 2. Game 1 felt like we want to throw hands. We want to see how we stack up against Furia. That's why they drafted such an aggressive dive comp into a very low health, high damage composition. Because whichever team started snowballing should have just snowballed that out of control. Instead, it just went back and forth because both teams are really, really good.
Yeah.
And that took a while for Red to close out. And then Red went, okay, we got our measure of where we're at. Talkers went, okay, now we play a comp to win, like instead of just like to test. And they drafted that really strong, team fight front to back composition with the Sejuani, which is not meta. First time this split, we've seen it. For in Brazil, at any rate. With the Misfortune as well. Another champion who we've not seen a lot of this split. I think we've seen it once before.
Yep. Once before it was Morteus or something, and it was useless.
Yep. So I think I really like the coaching staff from that. Whereas I'm looking at Furia, and now look, Fury's stepping up. I think he's done a good job. And in other splits in the past, this Furia roster would have just won off the virtue of their hands and how they're playing. But in the last 2 years, coaching staff has become more and more important, and I'm not seeing Furia fix their problems. I'm seeing them continue to double down on their strengths. I'm liking what we're seeing from Tatu, from Ayu Jojo. I'm liking when Gigo is winning, but it feels like by doubling down their strengths, they've doubled down on their weaknesses. When Gigo doesn't get a hit, things start to go real damn haywire. When Tatu's taking those risks and they're not paying off, that's how teams like Red, like Los, are beating them. And so I'm looking at this going this feels like a coaching staff there. Red is growing. Furia kinda isn't. And I get a little bit more concerned for Furia now.
They returned to the mean for them, but they've not surpassed it, They've I don't know if Furies is the guy to elevate them.
And to be fair, I simply don't know enough about Furies. I'm just judging solely based on what we've seen growth wise. I've seen Red grow. I haven't seen Fury grow yet.
What coach are they gonna get? Are we gonna steal like an LEC coach? Are we gonna steal another LCS one?
That's how CL got here.
I don't know, man. It's they need like a coach that is a leader coach, I think. But I don't know if they even do. Maybe they need a more technical guy who's actually going to dig into their problems and help them solve them. Because I don't think they need vibes. This team is Tatu.
I think they need a leash
out the wazoo. I think we need.
Maybe that's why Think Card worked.
Yeah,
he's a very technical coach. He's right. He's really smart.
And he's very good with younger players. I mean, if you listen to his interviews when they're up in the LCS right now with FlyQuest, he's less worried about their technical skill because very similar to Fury. That FlyQuest, and Fury's the same way.
Rip it in Masu, dude. Just let them just rain.
I mean, it's Tatu Ayu. It's literally the same thing.
Yeah.
And Fury just needs a leash to tell them okay, guys, don't go crazy. Right? Don't over-index into just messing around. Know when to take the incremental leads and just play for later. And I feel like maybe that's not a thing not maybe. That's traditionally not been a thing CBLOL excels at. The Brazilians don't know the meaning of restraint, right? When they just go hard, which is hugely fun to watch. And like I said, other splits in the past absolutely would have worked. Even as recently as 2023, this Fury team probably blows Loud and Pain out the water. But right now the problem is we've got teams who can now match hands and who have better restraint. And this is why I'm concerned about Fury versus Los. I do think Fury is the better team, but against Los, you're playing to their strengths instead of playing to your own, and you're just giving them everything they want.
And it's tough because the thing that originally pricked my ears up about Fury was that they were able to play fast successfully and not look like a CBLOL team just constantly halfway falling forwards and just always falling forwards into the next play or whatever.
What is running but falling forward successfully?
Right. They looked like they were running as opposed to falling forward successfully. And that was the coolest thing about them. And now Red is also able to do that. Los is also able to do that. We have other teams that can play this way. And I think it's a great way to play. That's what Korea does now. China still can do, and they do a bit of falling forward successfully. But Korea, the LCK memes are more than half a decade old and just aren't true anymore. Korea doesn't play super slow. They play really fast and effective, and they push leads really well, and they're running, they're not falling forward. That's how the best teams in the world play. But we are still not polished enough necessarily. When the competition is stronger, it still kind of exposes that we're not polished enough yet. And who's going to bring us that polish? We need to get Keikome in here or what? So
I don't know if Koma.
I think he's busy, like you know.
Oh, man, with enough of a bag, I
Yeah.
don't think anything is
Look,
possible.
Furia just have to like win the CS major or whatever, and then they can just spend it all on
True, and then
Koma,
all that money goes
buy
to
him out
League of
for
Legends.
7 figures, and then we're good, man. Like, anyway, so to wind it back to Red a little bit, FMB is back to looking like this guy's just the GOAT. He's the best. Like, he's the best top laner.
Yeah.
Like,
What a Renekton game. I mean, that is the most like veteran Renekton game.
Yes.
Self-aware. Just
most,
like
I know what
this champ
Renekton is
supposed
for.
to do. Exactly.
Yep.
What time is it? After 15 minutes. Assignment changed. Mission briefing updated.
It is
understood.
now
So
flash
based.
stun the Yunara time and do nothing
Yeah,
else.
and he did that over and over and over again.
The funniest thing to me was actually looking at his cameras. You know how like they cycle the cameras? FMB looked like the Terminator, man. When he killed
does.
Gigo solo, nothing
just
changed on his face. He was just like,
He's like, this is
in,
what I
out.
do, man.
It's like,
This is
bro,
what
yeah.
I do.
I win this
Like
matchup.
every time they cycle his face, man, he's just like locked in the entire time. And we're just like, okay, man, he's killing Gigo, no reaction. Diving Ayu, no reaction. Like FMB just he knows his job.
He does.
That's crazy.
He certainly does.
But I think Kaze, I mean, dude, Kaze has been waiting all split for somebody to challenge him. He has not gotten his challenge, man. He is well
anyone
known
Not
as
a
the best
proper
player.
one. I can't remember the one game that he was down on Silas and that they lost. Who was that?
They lost to
Was that against Feisty?
Loud.
I think it was Lowe's, wasn't
and
it?
they lost to Loud
In the
and
regular
Lowe's.
season.
Yeah, but even then, in the regular season, they lost to Loud.
So it was like
That
it
was
was
the-
Feisty.
No,
was
sorry.
Feisty was the only guy in regular season because that was the one game they lost. I'm pretty sure. Or one of the 2 games Red lost.
Yeah. They lost to Lowe's, but even then, I felt like Kaze was not losing.
He was
to
losing
Feisty.
lane. He was like, he died. He was like 2 and 4 out of the early game. Like he was not. He didn't have. He started getting better later on, but they lost the game and he was put behind. He was decidedly behind Feisty, and that was one of the first times where I was like, maybe Feisty isn't just a Talia bot. Like this guy's actually for sure good. Like he was the only guy that at least managed to deal with Kaze early on. I mean, obviously there's a whole 5v5 game going on. It's not a 1v1 game, but like that was the one time I think Kaze struggled. Like there are times when he's gone even.
I do remember him getting soloed.
Yeah,
But I still remember if like he was losing over
but
there.
that was the only time he's really shown like a crack. The rest of it has been like, oh, I'm not smashing, but I'm just even, and now I'm smashing because a team fight came around. So, yeah, he is still.
Yeah.
He's tippy top. He's like a division, like a tier and a half above everyone else, and maybe a whole tier above everyone else. And like, he's not throwing leads, he's not giving shutdowns away, he's not playing like a young kind of hothead, he's playing like a mechanical beast, and that's just kind of it, you know. Which is great. Like Talker's, because we did see that from him a little bit last split. We saw a little bit of young playerism from him, but Talker's has been working with them for a few splits, and I think we're seeing the obvious growth. In just one of the many ways we're seeing the obvious growth.
Loki, I'm just trying to think, like, how do you beat this Red team when it feels like they're more structured than any other team in the CBLOL right now? Their mid laner is a cut above everybody else.
You leave Pike open, I guess.
Just pray that they ego into that.
Yeah.
No.
You leave it open and hover it, and then just swap just to try and like.
In a
bait them
best of
with it.
one, that works. In a best of
them,
3,
like-
they can only pick it once.
And then they
Fearless,
can't.
so
Hey, it might be enough.
maybe. I mean, even okay. So the bot lane and the jungle, we haven't touched on them too. I think Curse right now is super solid. I love the Sejuani pick because it reminds us that Curse can be a role player, and I know that's normally like not a good term.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
but I'm
just
like using
a
it in a term where he's so
huge
versatile.
Fantasy point getter in the start and like with Jace and stuff, but he can also slam a Sejuani and also get loads of points, but just like play a gosh darn Sejuani ass League of Legends game. You know?
Yep.
He's like, dude, I have 3 carries on my team. What do I need to play Neferi for?
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
who am I kidding? Like,
And it allows the flexibility for Red. And then at Rebello and Frosty. Okay, I know that y'all were talking about. Wait, Jason, who do you say were the best supports again in the league? Was
the best supports. Frosty, Jojo.
Frosty? Okay, Ackerman was the one that I thought you missed out.
See,
Okay,
he ended up being, when we did that like draft thing last split, I ended up picking Ackerman because I had Dudu, so I was like, I'll just keep them together because these guys seem really good together.
Yeah.
Like, but to be fair, Ackerman has been playing really well, like individually. So based on this split,
but
Yeah.
I mean, Rebello Frosty right now is one of the top bot lanes. So at best, other teams can match the bot lane because the bot lane is strong in Brazil. Your top lane, you can maybe match FNB, but FNB in Terminator mode is perfect for the team when he can be carry, but he doesn't need to be primary carry. So then you can't match Kaze. Nobody seems to be able to match Talkers right now. The closest was CL, but he's having all sorts of weird issues.
He's struggling with his team. He's trying
So yeah, I'm kind of looking at it going like, well, yeah, Red are looking kind of head and shoulders, and the fact that we're shifting towards best of 3s and best of 5s, to me, that's only gonna highlight Red's strengths. Because lowest is where they are, I suspect, because it's best of 1s.
Yeah, they did.
But
not
in best
look
of
good
5
in a series, they didn't handle Fearless well at all, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think Red's the team to beat for sure. Like, Red is the top of the mountain, and they get to play against Loud in the upper bracket in the semifinals.
Whenever we get Red versus Loud, anytime ever, it is just a slobber knocker.
It's always the best matchup, bro. It's been the best matchup for like 3 years, and it still is. It's so
man.
good,
Like if Loud win that one. At that point, yeah, you know
then
what? I'm actually
then
impressed.
I'm throwing all the papers out. I'm going, whatever, man.
At that point, I'll wear a Loud patch.
Goodness gracious, I'll buy the letter jacket. Like, whatever, dude. Yeah, sign me up for the Loud letter jacket if they beat Red. Because they shouldn't, man. Like it's Kaze. Margot looked really good last week against Feisty, sure. But even in game 1, Feisty was like a more valuable player, but then like struggled and was Victor and couldn't do anything, and then solo killed him in the third game, right? Like Margo didn't like look like a massively better player than Feisty individually, but it's Kaze, man. We're not like beating Kaze in lane, are we? Are we really? I don't think
I'm
so.
more worried about the bot lane.
Yeah.
Ripbird has been making mistakes, even now.
Yeah.
Like in lane, he Bo is low-key getting screwed by Redbird in lane.
Well,
outside of lane, I think Redbird's fine. But in lane, Redbird keeps walking to bushes.
Yeah.
He has no business, or like walking up to pressure when it's like, brother.
Yeah, I think
Bo was trying to hit a like, CS back in like way back there in your caster minion wave. Why are you walking to your opponent's caster minions, right? Like, and they got punished by Ayushiro. Like Rebello Frosty beat that bot lane. Like, I do not fancy your odds trying to play into Frosty, like with those sort of mistakes.
Yeah. Shino FNB is interesting because it's the hardest test for Shino. He's been playing really well, but FNB is the best top laner and doesn't need resources to clap you, and also will happily just pick Sion and like go even, or pick Asante and go even. He doesn't have to like contest you. He will happily play his role. So whether Shino can get, but that's kind of what Shino's been doing as well. Like he's been doing some Sion business and going.
And Shino's been doing it with less resources
and outvaluing,
focusing on team fighting and getting ahead that way.
Yeah, so that is a very interesting matchup. Curse and Young Jay is like a very like
that could be rough, dude.
It's whatever the opposite of mirrored is, like very asymmetrical matchup, not in a power level way,
it's
but
the funhouse mirror.
In a stylistic way. The opposite players in the jungle, which is pretty funny. So it really just like, you know, every time I now like go into these shows and I'm like, Margot's against like a new randomly good mid laner and it's like, he can't possibly win, and then every week he does, and then I louder next week go, he can't possibly win, and then this week the loudest possible, he can't possibly win. So, you know, maybe
you are here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the flowchart of Margot's season of dominance, I guess.
Yeah, the Margot's cyclical self-cope.
Man, if Mago beats Kaze, they should just make straight up Mago merch.
I'm
for Loud, like no joke.
I'm going to lose it if Margot like solo kills Kaze twice in lane or something. I
can believe it. I believe that could happen because Kaze has an unfortunate tendency to start playing overly aggressive when he thinks he's winning really hard. Mm-hmm. To be fair, when he does that, it rarely costs them the game.
Yeah,
it's just more like a wake up thing, and then helps the other guy get back into the lane. But then after that, he's usually fine. So I'm not too worried about if he gets solo kill.
I'm looking for a solo kill, not a gank as well. No jungler's allowed. Solo kill has to be. Then I will.
Ethical hoops.
Yes.
I'm more worried if he loses lane, like where he's down CS regardless what the hell happens. He's down gold. If he gets solo killed and he's up gold, I do not care. Like that's just Kaze.
Scrambling over each other for the Rise pick game 1, both of these guys. So we will see who gets their hands on it. But yeah, that's gonna be a messy one. Okay, we've kind of touched on, so the schedule for next week, just because we've already started touching on the future matches, is VKS Lev and then Furia versus the winner, both best of 5.
Yep.
So we will not see Red Loud until the weekend after that, which will then be Los and the eventual winner, and then Red and Loud. So the actual schedule will be VKS Lev, which we've touched on. Lev definitely could win it. VKS, if they actually ever remember how to play, they will win if they like return to anywhere near their form, but they're just so far off it right now that we can't really say. And I think like Furia should just be comfortably favored against either of them. So probably expecting to see like Furia Los going forward, which is pretty cool because Furia did lose against Los. And that was one that Los has now been exposed, and especially until best of 5, they struggled enough in the best of 3. Like that's we're gonna be digging deep into mid laners and top laners, and maybe starting to suffer a bit there.
Life could come at them really, really fast because
after the 6-1 split, first thing they could just be getting like gut punched and then haymakered in the playoffs. Like,
you took a game off Loud, and then you've got Furia and Keyd. They've got their flaws, but the ceiling is as high as anybody else in this league, and especially in Fear. This is a team. This is a team that has been there and done that, right? All of them. So
yeah.
And if Keyd somehow beats Furia there, like I'm terrified because let's not forget the reigning champs are still VKS. So if VKS somehow beats Furia, to me that signifies they've gone back to like high levels of gameplay.
Yeah.
And we called Keyd the most macro-based team last split. That's Dos's weakness. So if the team knows how to play macro, like, hey, you got beaten by Loud, who's just instinctively stalling out. Like, if Keyd is intentionally stalling out, yeah.
Okay, let's check in with Fantasy. This was a pretty big swing week. I had a great week, folks, I'll be honest.
You
I went
did.
from 5th back up to 3rd. We all took a big bite out of Acheron, who was like 60 points ahead before, because his gambits failed quite spectacularly, given just the way the games went. So I was really banking on Loud series being long and messy, and everybody gets points, which is what happened. Because them and VKS, like Kai Wing managed to get points in those games. Loud had 5 games of that and managed to average like at least 17, 18 points across Bull and Sheena, which are my Loud guys. So that worked really well for me. And so not to put Akron on blast, but like his first week, 186 points, massive, absolutely huge. Week 2, 141. Week 3, 125. Week 4, 105. My guy he's collapsing late in the split, so we're coming for him is what we're saying. We're coming for Acheron. He's a week 1 Andy, and just had Los for week 1 for no reason, I guess, and now we're coming for him. I like that, RMC, you and I are sticking together on the standings very closely. Like we go together up and down.
It's so fake, dude. Like we're moving together, but if you look at the discrepancy between us, like that gap is just getting bigger. Like I am not like I am being carried by my week 1 picks.
Yeah, I'm in Luna's wing mirror right now, and RMC's a couple of cars behind, but he's there. Yep. Paradox is starting to recover as well. He's dropped back in the top 5. Paradox was bemoaning his struggles, but he's managed to get back on top of it. Lev, sadly, like Lizard went up to like 3rd or something off the back of Lev the week before, and then they got Furied, and now just back in 6th. So that sadly suffered. But yeah, so there's our fantasy league swings pretty wildly, honestly, week to week. We've got big movements here. Okay, so we've touched a little bit on the schedule already, so let's go to questions. Which we have a few from the Discord. Lunar Day, with the kind of Lunar Day concept of the week. With the Lunar New Year almost here, in China there is a tradition of giving red envelopes, brackets with money, they're called hongbaos for anyone who doesn't know, to younger family members to help ward off bad spirits and symbolize good luck, happiness, and energy for the next year. Which player or roster would you like to give your red envelope? Who really needs some good energy going into this off season,
dude?
It's Pain. Marvin,
100%.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah, Marvin specifically. Yeah,
I would like to show Marvin we still love
probably.
him.
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, okay, for Marvin, at least gaming academy is a thing.
Yes, he's going back
confirmed.
there, and
So he'll be in CD for sure.
and it's like the roster I think isn't locked yet, but it's like Sam K's and
Yeah, Sam K's was a party they're interested in. I don't think
right, or they're looking
yeah,
at Sam
been
K's
able to lock
because
him.
apparently from the latest like I don't know if it was a Shotana or just like a general like a different journalist, but it looked like they used to have Super Clever and then he left because Super Clever is now on.
Super Clubber's now doing like a tier 3 thing with Brunsey.
Yeah, he's now on like the why is this in
Estral.
Estral,
It's
yeah.
Estral.
Yeah.
So he's now on the like Estral's latest like lower tier farming expedition. After they betrayed us and tried to get into North and failed, and now where did that bring them? Oh, it's back to us.
Back to us.
It's back to the CBLOL, huh?
I'm gonna apologize to the LA fans, but still better than this, man.
I'll take. Look, if they're gonna put a good roster together, fine. But I will be shaming them initially because they tried to dodge and failed at the last hurdle with their Birdle.
But they existed. Isurus no longer does.
Well, no, Summit roster, not Birdle roster. So. Okay, so would anyone likes to offer a Hongbao to anyone else who isn't Marvin? Because that's my choice for sure. Or Pain in general.
The voices in CL's head.
Yeah.
Like, poor guy, man. He does put a lot of pressure on himself, and it's like it really seems like with Keyd, it is just very all. It's as the same Portuguese, 8 or 80, 8 or 80. Like it's all or nothing with him and that org. And to be fair, I do think that is why so many people are drawn to the project, because Brazilian sports soccer fandom is all or nothing, right? There can never be a reasoned middle ground, for better or for worse. But if you want to talk about like what keeps everybody really invested in this league and why is the fandom so fanatical, I think that's a part of it. So like for the vibes and for the content, I'm not like mad at it, but like for long-term mental health, like maybe
when this kind of situation happens, you maybe could do with a good vibe or two, you know, just a nice
just like
message.
a Xanax, like
you put instead of money in the envelope, it's just downers.
It's just magic beans.
Yeah. Okay. Next question. Actually, let's do this one last. So let's quickly skip ahead to Dark Knight, which I have third. Do you guys think this is going to be like last year and everything that happened in the first split will just be null and void? Well, given how Losis started to trajectory, maybe, but like if they don't, as long as they don't win, then it's not as bad as the first split, which had Isurus and Leviathan going from the top to the bottom between split 1 and 2.
Yep.
Like I don't think it's quite as bad as last year, but I do think there's a lot will change. So I think Red will continue to be up there with Furia. I think Los will drop a little bit. I think Loud will be probably middle of the pack. So
I think Los
I guess not much change for Loud.
Same spot, basically.
Yeah. And then for the bottom side, Keyd I think will definitely improve. I cannot see this roster being in the gutter for this long. Like
Keyd and Pain, right? You've got to imagine Keyd and Pain will do a bit better in split 2, because like Pain were already looking better. They just like I think they made too many changes, had too many other issues that they might, with time, settling in with Trigger, be able to get around. Now, I'm saying this as someone who didn't properly believe in this concept at all, even with Titan in it, because I think Robo and Tinones are actually not good enough to have that level of expectation. Like, Titan was the guy I believed in on that roster, and to a slightly lesser extent, Karaoke, but I just don't feel confident in the Robo and Tinones lanes at this point.
Yep.
So, but like they did look better, and with like it really kind of depends on how Lev lands after it, how far they can go. If they end up still contesting teams like BKS and Pain, or what even? I mean, Flux is probably just going to end up settling to the bottom, sadly for them. But
with Pain, I think they'll go up simply because they cannot be worse than this.
Like
Furioka getting shut down level 1 cannot be a thing that remains. So, that will get fixed one way or another. So yeah, Pain will go up. I agree with you. Leviathan I think will actually improve. But because I think there'll be a lot of improvement in general, I suspect they will also land middle of the pack. But I do think they'll get better because they have been showing us constant improvement. Game after game, week after week. Fluxu, on the other hand, like there is potential here, man. But I just feel like Fluxu W7M as an org is a problem. Like
something's rotten there. Something in the water, man.
It's not the players, because they already swapped out, for Koreans. They did it like a complete 180.
The Koreans might be the problem
I think
too.
it's
The
like
Koreans aren't
kind of
exactly
it.
lighting the world
I
on
think-
fire.
It could be. No, 100%. It could be. But the thing to me is just that the whole team took a 180 from last year, where it was
Yeah.
like the rookie roster, right? And now they're taking in less rookies, slightly more experience and whatnot. They're taking imports instead of all local, all domestic, and it still looks exactly the same. So something's fundamentally wrong with the org.
Yeah.
The coaching staff, perhaps as well, might be a bit of an issue. I know Aoshi's gone now. I don't know what happened there, but it's not
Nothing
Aoshi,
good.
so yeah. I mean, Sammy is still there, but you know, I don't know how much of a role Sammy can take. I don't know if he's like head coach style material. I don't know how much control he has over the roster. Yeah, that one I think Fuxu will settle at the bottom, unless something wildly changes. Like they're just not giving me any hope so far, the split at all.
Flixus just kind of does what Kaboom was doing at the end, which is just like invest year, budget year, invest year, budget year, and like they have an expensive roster and then they
Yeah.
have a nothing roster, and they're just this is like was kind of thought it was meant to be like an investment roster, but it's kind of half and half, and the investments they made have not paid off at all. So at least when they did their last investment year, it was Brazilian, and it was like Francais, House. I think that's the one that started with Tay, to be fair.
Well, that's to me funny is that you're talking about them, and guess what? House was Kaboom, not Kaboom. Kaboom, not Kaboom. And
Yeah,
now it's Fluxu's like, and Fluxu also took House in their first iteration, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Fluxu's going House.
So they're just
No,
swapping.
House.
Like, are they the same team? Have you ever seen them in the same room together? Like they're just swapping the budget.
Yeah,
Swapping
unfortunately.
the
Yeah.
logo each time. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know if you much hope for that one. They're gonna need to make. I think they would need to make player changes to have any kind of hope. And yeah, the roster,
need to
the
see,
org
like,
does not seem like a
staff
good support.
changes.
Yeah, like none of it really is where it needs to be. At least with like there's player changes you can make to cover for staff deficiencies. And theoretically there's maybe somewhere to go with some of these players with a new staff change. But again, the problem of like who's floating around in the ecosystem of coaching staff in Brazil that they can pick up that can like do something about this. I don't really have a good amount of visibility on like what that landscape looks like on like the back end staff of Brazil, because there's a couple of good import people, like Raze seems to be doing a good job.
Yeah.
But besides that, like not too much success there. And then you have like the names like Zero, and now we've got Talkers and CL and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna say Talkers. Yeah.
Yeah, but like
yeah.
because he just came out of nowhere. Like he wasn't like a known quantity as a coach. He was a player who then became. I think his assistant coached at one point before, but like he was not thought
he
of
might
as
have been
a
a head
coach
coach
in
like
the scene
somewhere, but
before this red move.
But I mean, I think
right?
kind of in that vein, like literally from the same Exodia team, Revolta has been talking about potentially wanting to coach, and like I know he's been kind of sounded out as a guy who could get the next gig, and if someone wants to take that, well, like we can do talkers at home sort of thing, right? Like maybe that's former jungler, right? Knows the game, very well respected in the scene.
We'd love it to be a talkers and not a ranger. You know what I mean?
Here.
Because the ranger coaching arc, I don't think went very well on Kaboom.
I thought it was hilarious. Personally, watching the
it was
videos.
content, bro. It was, I'm not saying it
That
wasn't
man
content,
is a content goat. Holy
but he's
crap.
a content goat, not necessarily a coach goat.
Sure.
Perhaps.
You know what? Turtle, are you bored of streaming yet? Turtle? Do you want to come back to coaching?
That's so true, actually. That used to be like one of the guys. There was like Aoshi and Turtle. These are the coaches that should get a shot at something bigger. Aoshi has gotten a couple of shots now and had a horrible experience for all involved both times. Yeah. And Turtle is just disappeared since the Liberty days. Sad. Okay, I forgot what this question was about. I don't think that everything is going to be null and void. I think the main changes we're expecting are Pain and VKS are surely going to be better than they're looking right now. Lev, so like that mid pack potentially is going to be like Loud, Los, Pain, Lev, and maybe VKS, depending on how much they turn it around or not. So that could be quite interesting to see who else can like try and scrabble their way out of that crab barrel, as it were, in the mid pack, to get back up to Red Fury and maybe VKS. So I don't think everything's going to be null and void.
For me, I think it's more null and void than not, but not 100%. Like
I think
it's not going to be as bad as
Los is the biggest parallel, but I don't think they're going to be as drastic of a drop off that Lev had, and to be fair, and IE had. I don't think it's going to be like that.
I think Cade will be the biggest parallel. They bombed out last time, they're bombing this time.
Yeah, it's going to be adjacent, but not quite as bad now.
Yeah, I still believe it's Heal.
Now, the last question for Lunar Day, which is Lunar Day's concept of the week, is Scuttle crabs are clearly the cutest things on the Rift. Can we get a tier list ranking everything else that naturally spawns on the Rift? And RMC has done us the pleasure of whipping up a quick tier list here, so we're going to take a look at that.
We're ranking on cuteness.
We're just ranking them, I
good
think.
question.
The phrasing is, so the scuttle crab is the cutest, but it was the
Right.
phrasing
seems to
doesn't
kind of set
specify
the vibes.
doesn't specify the specific metric. But we can do it by cuteness if we want to make it at least a little easier to do, because that gives us something to actually go on. Otherwise, it's like, I like this one, I don't like that one, which is hard to align 3 people on. Because when we do tier lists for players, theoretically we're ranking on some sort of analysis.
I am fine with whatever we use. I always say is that regardless of the thing, S tier is.
Yeah, I mean, caster minions probably do have to go up to S tier as a.
Thank you.
And they are pretty cute, to be fair. So if scuttlers, I believe scuttlers are S tier across any metric anyway.
Yeah.
So caster
The plush
minions,
is the cutest, actually. For the plushes, my sister actually ended up getting one.
Nice.
I don't know where it is actually. Oh no, it's probably at her place.
So the rest of the minions, we have.
The red one, red caster minion. Come on.
Oh yeah, sorry, we do have red caster minion. I do believe the blue one is better as well. I just think the blue design is better than the red.
Okay,
design
yeah, the
across
blue one's
board.
cuter.
Yeah,
I do like the scroll on the red one, but it's
that's
not
true.
as cute
I like
as
the
scroll.
the big chunky crystal on the blue one, and I prefer that. I like the blue masks.
Loki, I think of the thing he's holding in the other hand as like a tombstone marker.
It kind of does look
Yeah,
like
like
it,
it looks like it, right? Yeah.
A little macabre, perhaps, but it feels like when you kill it, it just automatically blocks it down because it knows it's gonna die anyways.
Yeah. Now the melee minions I'm just getting them onto the screen so we can see them here. Like the blue one is kind of, I like the.
I don't
blue
actually
one.
think the blue one's that cute.
No, I think the red one's cuter. He's got more of like a sort of Vigor-ish, like little scrappy
Shy.
kind of
I think
energy.
he's a bit of a shy guy.
Yeah.
The blue one looks a bit hunchback, you know.
Yeah, he's.
I mean, if
kind
that's your
of-
thing, sure, but
Yeah. But I don't. So I think these are both like, I'd put them just kind of like down here for now. I think red's better, but like blue minions potentially.
we can leave it in P, I think. For now, yeah.
Okay, cannon minions. I mean, this guy's got a little kind of. It's almost like a little happy mask. The blue cannon minion.
True. I mean, are they cute? I think they're cool.
They're neat.
Their ride is cool.
Yeah. Where's the red one? The
Not
red
very
one's
eco-friendly,
Not
but,
cute
you know.
at all. The red one's like a World of Warcraft mod, you know?
Sure.
Like, because with the spikes on the cannon and everything, this is just like an Orgrimmar kind of vibe, which isn't cute for those who've been there, who've been to Orgrimmar.
Yes.
So I'd put them like this for now, just because I think blue's
Okay.
cuter.
Yeah.
But we can shuffle these again in a bit. Gromp. Thoughts on
Grump is at least A.
At least
Grump
A.
is pretty cute.
Gromp
yeah.
is pretty, Gromp
He's
is pretty
thick.
cu- yeah, he's a big boy.
He's so rotund, dude.
Yes, that's an awesome word.
Yes, he is rotund. Krugs. I don't find the Krugs particularly cute. The little ones are kind of cute, but
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd
B,
put him in.
B?
Low B.
Yeah.
Low B is fine.
low B. There you
That'll
go.
be fine. I think he's cuter than Siege. On average, cuter than Siege.
There we go.
Yes.
We'll be him siege minion. Raptors.
Oh, those aren't cute, man.
They're not cute. No.
Raptors are not cute. They're not really fluffy. The feathers look kind of beraggled.
Yeah.
Like the best chicken is a cooked chicken, deep fried.
Here,
Like,
here.
When they're living, they're kind
So
of meh.
true.
That sounds like D.
That does
Yeah,
sound like
that sounds like a
D.
D.
One of these
Yeah,
two
these
doesn't
guys
belong
are
in
D.
D.
D for deep fried. Let's go.
Yeah.
Here.
Dogs, wolves. These guys aren't really cute either.
I want them to be cute.
But
I'm
I
such a
also-
dog person.
Yeah, they're not
kind
very
of-
cute.
Put them in like the World of Warcraft mob kind of area.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
they're just fine. You know, they're just here. And I do think
Yeah.
the minion's slightly cuter because he's like riding on his little tricycle thing, like which kind of gives it
Yeah.
a cute thing.
He's just doing a job. Yeah.
Yeah. Cannon minions. Or we have
Super
blue and red
minions.
cannon minions. Sorry, super minions.
Supers.
I like how
Yeah, they're not cute to me.
No, the only thing that I like about them is like it kind of just looks like they have big bodies and tiny little heads, which I find amusing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there is something
tickles
like
me.
a little bit of the like, you know, kid playing in dad's clothes. Right?
Yeah, that's what. So the blue one looks more like it, which is why I like it more, and the red one looks less like that. And that's the one metric that I'm measuring by personally. Is does it look like it has a little head and a big body? So at that point, the blue one wins.
Okay, I don't have an opinion. It's like, you see your relatives around, like, it's just
Yeah,
like, whatever.
it still doesn't cast anything, so like Orange doesn't care.
Yeah.
Like
It's like I'm not attracted to my relatives. It's not,
blue buff.
can't be helped.
I quite like blue buff.
I think Blue Buff is a
he's like
happy
a-
special fella.
yeah, he's a happy
He's cute in the
special
way
fella.
that Bard's cute.
And he kind of lumbers around.
Yeah,
And he's quite nice.
he's got that slightly rotund look, which
He does
I
have
guess.
exactly.
rotundness that A tier.
So A is just rotund.
A tier is
Yeah,
rotund things.
it's A for a rotund. Yeah.
Yes.
A for
And
rotund.
unlike red buff, which is just like a little gangly, gross little weirdo that I don't think
Yeah.
is good.
It didn't have to be that mean, but hey,
Well, I went there, I'm gonna be, maybe
I mean, I'm a mid lane player, like blue better than red.
so true actually. Like
Auto attacking is
buff
very
doesn't
overrated.
even do anything, man. Like what is useless. Like it's is the worst thing ever. Now here's a controversial one. Void Grubs. I think Void Grubs are
well,
good.
I mean that's the one we had to save for last for hashtag good content.
Oh, come on, dude, Edu. Come on.
The boys.
Just because of the boys, I want to S-rank them.
I would S rank the Grubs. I know some people hate the Grubbies, but I love the
It's
Grubs.
at least A.
Oh, the grubbies.
It's at least A.
We'll put him here.
Alright,
Hey, we've got
But-
two. We've got two for S. We've got two
But
for S.
I'm
right
good
now.
with this. I'm good with this.
Yeah, we'll put them here. They're not better than Caster Minions.
You know what?
But
For
I love
Ed and
the
Eddie, A rank. Do Edu, S rank.
yeah,
There you go.
local Grubs S rank.
Yes.
Rift Herald, or Shelly, perhaps, as we could call her.
Oh, she's.
I
Pretty.
think Shelly's cute. She dances. She is rotund.
She do dance. Mm-hmm.
And so I'd put her top of A personally. And the way she like sprints around, like I think it's good. So I would put her top of A for Shelly.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah. Baron Nashor.
Not cute.
Probably
Not
the
Not
least
cute at
cute
all.
thing in the game, almost. Especially this one with the multiple mouths and the pointy, spiky bits. Like,
So
There's a
the
couple
old
different
Baron
ones,
was kind of
but-
cute.
yeah,
Like, the
original
old
Baron
Baron was kinda
Nashor was
derpy.
a bit rounded
Yeah.
and was fine, but this one that has like 8 mouths is.
But then
nightmare fuel.
Baron grew up, and I don't know, man. Like,
Yeah.
we're not-
Puberty was not kind to
We're not
Baron.
fucking with him anymore. Like, it's over. Chemtech
cool,
Drake.
not cute. Yeah.
Now this isn't a very cute Drake. He looks again pretty evil. None of the Drakes are super cute, but they're probably gonna be like in some order around the bottom of C or D. But we do need to decide which the cute ones are.
Yeah, Chemtech for me is like it's kind of slimy, no?
He is kind of slimy. He's got a
A little bit
gross.
slimy.
Yeah. Cloud Drake kind of looks like it has a skull for a head, which isn't super cute. But he's not slimy, which is a plus, I suppose. He's
Yeah,
just
I
not
mean, I
as
could
grim.
see Cloud. Like C for Cloud.
Yeah. C for Cloud, let's fucking go. Hex Drake is like poster on your bedroom wall, kicking rags.
He's cool.
He's cool.
Yeah.
So he's
I'm
not
13
gross.
and this is awesome.
So I'm gonna put him. Maybe I could put him. Like,
Yeah, I'm okay with him with C as well. The
Yeah.
question's above or below Cloud.
Yeah. Infernal is kind of basic. I'll be real. I think
Yeah.
Infernal Drake's kind of basic. You're
Yeah.
kind of going.
D for Deathwing.
Yes, actually. D for Deathwing. Mountain Drake. Maybe less cute than D for Deathwing, but not slimy and therefore better than Chemtech. Ocean kind of is slimy because he's wet all the time.
True.
But he's not. He's more just like
Well-
a fish, And do you think he's?
I mean,
cuter?
but like moist versus slime. I don't know which is worse, calling it moist.
Neither is good. I'm gonna put him here. I'm gonna give him some points, and then Elder, which has kind of a cute, like sort of grizzled, long eyebrows and beard thing going on, which I think does play in his favor compared to. The
Okay,
other
but
Drakes.
hear me out on Elder here. I think
Yeah.
Elder deserves to go higher because
Yeah.
Elder makes teams play real cute around him.
Oh,
And that's where we get a lot of throws.
I see.
A lot of game
I'm,
endings.
I'm
Yeah.
good with that logic.
We'll bump him up to the highest dragon tier for how cute teams look around this guy. And then we have Tiny Frog and Tiny Duck. Now, these are kind of objectively adorable guys, but...
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I kind of like them more in the deep fried tier, you know?
Why are we deep frying the frogs and the ducks, man?
Wait, you never had frogs legs? Trajan, you should have had frogs legs.
Yeah,
no?
I have. Like, I've been
Yeah,
to
deep
Europe.
fried.
Yeah,
But he's a little guy.
He's a little guy, man. Like, the frogs that they're frying don't look like this, you know? This guy's...
Don't overcomplicate it. Put them both in us.
Andy's
Don't overcomplicate it.
Andy's rotund, to be clear. Like, he's at least 8 for that. Like,
So, actually, for I don't know if you're here when I was looking for the tier list. We were trying to find a jungle tier or like a spawn tier list on Tier Maker. Yeah, and the closest I could find was a jungle camp taste tier.
That's funny.
that's good. That's good content.
So you know what? Frog and duck would have been up there in this tier.
Yeah, for sure. Now, the only thing is, when we have frog and duck up here, where would you order Grub's frog and duck?
Ooh.
I think grubs go below frog and duck for me. Love them, but
That's the thing, yeah. Because I'd have them above, but he does have a sideways mouth. You know, RMC, if you had to tie break between where Grubs lands around frog and duck.
I mean, do good buddies, but I would have them above, but both of you have the grubs below, so I guess
I'd have the grubs above.
That's
No,
what
I'd have the grubs
he's
above.
got them above.
I'm above.
I would rather die on the deep fried tier. Than
Okay, so
this,
yeah, because the frogs get deep fried is at the bottom, and then, I mean, you can do deep fried duck, I guess, but I don't think I see it as often. I don't know why, if it's just it's just a different type of meat that you don't like. I don't see it as deep fried as often as like.
Oh, the skin is so good. I mean, the meat gets a little bit overdone.
Yeah, but that's like pan fried, no? Like you'd pan fry the skin, as opposed to deep frying it.
Yeah. I mean, if you just want the skin, but if you deep fry a whole duck, like the skin gets really nice too.
That's crazy. Deep fry a whole duck. That sounds good. Okay, right. That's the tier list. To avoid spending another hour on this. I mean, there you go. That's basically it. Scuttle wins, obviously. Caster minions represented, and we're Grubs enjoyers on this tier list by average.
Yes.
Okay, that's gonna do it for us. We'll be back normal times. Again, we've got more best of 5, so that was one best of 5 per day this weekend. 14th and 15th, I believe it is.
It's just one best of 5 going forward, I think.
Yes, for the rest of the playoffs
here
per
now.
day. So we have Furia and Lev on Saturday, and then VKS Lev.
BKS.
I foreshadowed it. VKS Lev on Saturday, and then Furia Lev on Sunday when Lev beats VKS. So tune in for that one. Follow us on the socials: X and Blue Sky, CBLOL English, community Discord, Fantasy League. You can join, and remember, you can still join a Fantasy League midway through a split. They made it possible so that is possible. So don't be dissuaded. And you can submit questions, and we'll answer them here on the podcast. Thank you everybody for listening, and we will see you this weekend on the Twitch channel for more CBLOL playoffs.